opening up. Here we go. Woohoo! Ready to roll. It's 9 o'clock, so we need to open up. Ready? Hi,
Ready.
Kim.
Hi,
Good
Kim.
morning. All
Morning,
right.
having trouble getting in. I don't know what it does. It mixes up our accounts, does it? It's weird.
Oh,
Love that outfit, Maria.
Hi,
all
Kim.
right,
How are
here
you?
we go.
Army green. It looks great.
Look at everybody jumping
Welcome,
in.
welcome, welcome. We got FoxFury.
Yes, look at everybody.
Antonio,
Goodness,
good
my
morning.
goodness.
Top of the morning to you.
And you as well. How are you?
It is a
Amazing,
great day.
amazing.
Yes,
Hello, Jim. Hi, Dennis.
yes.
Tuesday. Hi,
Hello,
Alicia.
hello,
Welcome.
hello.
Welcome, Sheila. Welcome, Chad. Welcome, Carolyn. Good to see you. Hi, Marie. Good to see everybody. Keep coming on in. We got FoxFury here.
Yes. Such a great day. Oh my gosh. And FoxFury is just such a wealth of knowledge. Super
Got
excited
people
to have you
driving. That's
today.
right.
I love it. I love it. So
Power of Zoom, right?
yes, yes.
Any place, anytime.
Yes. So really quick, like before we get started, because we are going to be getting the ball rolling here real quick, just giving it a little minute just so that people can get logged in. We want to thank everybody for joining us today. And if you could just throw into the chat really quick, like your involvement in the industry. Are you doing lighting? Like, you know, FoxFury here is doing lighting, but not everybody is a pilot. So show us what you're doing. Take a minute, jot it down, because we're here to make a connection. And that's a great way to connect. Just throw it into the chat and let us know. What are you doing in this industry, right? Let's see some of those popping. There we go. Thank you. All right. I love it. So give it a second while some of those pop up, and then
We got
perfect.
search and rescue,
Yes, I love
drone
it.
pilot.
We got Roseanne, a drone pilot. I love this. Awesome. This is what connecting is all about, right? That way we can save the chat, as long as I remind everybody at the end of the hour to save the chat. And there you go. Eric does patents and trademarks. Thank you, Eric. And does epic videos when he goes traveling. Awesome. Perfect way to connect.
We got Layla that does GSI engineering. She's the Part 107 pilot for GSI and engineering.
Nice.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
Antonio, he's not a pilot, but he does educational content. All these acronyms. NPS, DDP. Can somebody please say what that is? Desi probably knows. I don't know.
That is actually the drone donation program.
Oh,
That's
okay, got it.
awesome. Yes, thanks, Stephen, for sharing that one. Awesome, yes. All right.
Construction management, architecture. We got data mapping, analysis, and workforce training from Alicia. Solar inspection, Jim, mapping and inspections.
Love it. Let more people in here.
Video editing, inspection from Chanel.
See the connections?
Such,
Perfect.
I guess too, Desi, what's great about it is it just goes to show you it would be really wise of us all to collaborate versus, compete against each other, because there's so many different opportunities and so many ways that together that we can make the market bloom and be, where people more recognized, because there's so many people, majority of people know nothing about drones and how to implement them into their work or their business.
Yep. And this is a way to connect with people all around the world, because Women in Drones is worldwide. We are global, and that is the amazing thing. So with that, if you're not a member, oh wow, was that a great segue, huh? if you're not a member of Women in Drones, I encourage you to become a member. So, but it just not just this networking, but there's so many opportunities, and Women in Drones provide so much for people in the industry, and just that networking and diversity. So I do encourage you, if you're not, or even to invite others, especially to our program here. And so also, I want to also make a really quick mention that the ARC committee, if you're not familiar with it, the ARC committee has put out a opportunity to listen in on one of their webinars coming up for the UAS BBLOS report that was published. And then Vic Moss with DSPA is also going to be doing a podcast and talking a little bit more about it as well. And so there's an opportunity for us to make positive comments, and I'm going to put the link in there for you if you'd like to find out a little bit more about it. That opportunity is going on, so I would like you or give you the opportunity to check that out. And oh look, we also have Chanel doing drone blog and graphic design. Awesome. All right. Well, so good. So I'm so glad everybody's going to be able to connect. Don't forget to also put your information in there. So when we do save the chat, you'll have that there. But with that, we are going to segue over to our amazing spotlight speakers for today. We have Maria Cugini and Antonio Cugini, who are with FoxFury Lighting, and they are going to be sharing how they are implementing the lighting systems into public safety and so many other different ways, which they have been doing for 19 years. So we're super excited to have them here today. All right, I'm gonna make you spotlight, both of you.
Awesome, thank you. Hey, real quick, let me start off by just letting everybody know that Maria is my mom.
Okay.
I've gotten a lot of the your sister or wife or whatever, but that is my mom. So, but over to Maria.
Good for you, Maria.
Yeah.
Go, sister.
I claim them. No, it's amazing to be working with your kids. You know, it's just I'm blessed to get him to see how he's blossomed in the business world. You know, we always look at our kids and we see him from a personal level, but to watch him grow in a business, and he passed me a long time ago. So he's way out there on the education and how much he understands the market and what he does. So thank you. So I'm going to try to share my screen, see if it works.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, we can see.
Congratulations.
Perfect.
Does it work?
Woo! Got through that one, Maria.
Got
All
it.
right.
Great webinar now, everybody.
All right, we're done. No, just like, so just a very short brief, like Desi said. First of all, thank you for having us. We've been part of Women in Drones for a long time, and it's amazing to see what you ladies have accomplished, what Sharon has accomplished through the last 7 years. So FoxFury is a 19-year-old company. We provide many different solutions to the different markets that we serve, from the different platforms, scene lights, right angle lights, a lot of the tactical side, forensics, photo, video. And in 2015, we started in the drone world. We are a global company. We sell over 95 different countries. And these are just some of the photos, because it's always nice to have a visual. This is Europe, and this is just photography. Our products can be used underwater. So they are unique with all the features that they have. So from a photography point of view, some of the artists can get pretty creative. We started our journey in the drone world in 2015, just about the same time Sharon started. We met her at one of the very first drone shows here in Los Angeles. And we were just stunned to hear what her vision was for women in drones. And we had started getting into drones, Antonio being a director of business development. It's always looking at ahead of the game and see where our products fit in. And drones were only being used by Hollywood and military, but there was such a need in everything else that we started attending these photo video shows, and they're slowly started bringing in the drone component. So it's very unique to see it grow and to develop as much as it has. We all know what happened about 2018, 2019 with public safety, and how it just boomed, because it is such an amazing tool for public safety, that it was a no-brainer, that it was just a matter of time before they really started implementing, because it saves lives. It responds, they can respond so much quicker, and it has nothing to do with, oh, I don't want people to spy on me. Man, you could hear those drones coming from a mile away. So it's just an amazing solution. So having said that, I'm going to let Antonio take on, and he can explain the different markets that drones are being used in right now. Antonio?
Okay, thank you. So while we know a lot, there's so much more that we don't know about. I mean, we're all scratching the surface at this. And every time I go to an event or we talk to people, we're always learning. So my goal is for you guys to exit this and maybe understand how lighting can help with some of the work that you do, maybe even tell you some opportunities that you guys did not. Am I hard to hear?
Yeah, your sound is a little bit hard to hear right now.
Let me do this real quick. Tell me if this is better. I'm going
Okay.
to, I mean, it couldn't be a webinar with it and it goes smooth, right? Is this better?
Yes, keep talking.
All right. All right,
Sounded
sweet.
good.
So, all right, I'll back up.
Good.
There's a lot I don't know still. I'll share some of what I do know. So anyways, with this, you guys, hopefully you walk out of here with some like new kind of tips or tricks that might benefit you all. So first we'll start with the drone specific items that we do. So next slide there, Matt. The most obvious one, when we started in 2015, we were lighting up cameras for regular like ground-based photo video work. And then we just saw that this is nothing more than an aerial camera, but the opportunities are all over the place. So first step, we started talking about lighting for drones in 2015. And let me tell you, not as cool as it is today. It was a lot of why on earth, what are you doing? And at the same show that we met Sharon at, we had the craziest group of people come and talk to us. We had government folks. We had a lot of just really innovative. We had a lot of people that wouldn't tell us what they did. It was just those early days where there was so much opportunity. But from an FAA point of view, we did have to fly legally and safely at night. And that just meant having lights on the actual aircraft, not for navigation, but for anti-collision. So we do make lighting for different types of drones. All of their purposes is for being seen for 3 statute miles and meeting global requirements. And then the next slide, please. This is a real, I want to keep it real and not give you theory and give you real applications. It just so happens that some of those lights that are really anti-collision lights actually work really well in the field. So this is a department in Pennsylvania. During Hurricane Ida, they had a stranded motorist on flash flood conditions, just the worst that you could imagine. This was the only tool they could think of. So on the right of that picture is the thermal view from the drone itself. On the left is what the drone camera sees. They were actually able, it took 9 different crews, or 9 different departments to work together to save this person. And if it wasn't for that drone, and the lighting off of it was just a silly standard D3060, nothing fancy, but it was enough for them to illuminate the subject, illuminate the actual like crew, see the rope and work safely. So it's just an example of some of these applications where the lighting comes in ways that we would not expect. if you guys don't know much about like disasters, before you put anybody in water, you want to be very, 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 you want to be very, very clear because it's very dangerous. Am I still hard to hear, you guys? Okay,
You're good.
so,
I know, we perfect.
all right, cool. Anyways, next slide, please. Okay, the next one. This is a different application. This is your, and that was a thermal camera before on the other one, by the way. This one is just a use for structural firefighting. One of the advantages is before you send anybody onto a roof, this is where you use your thermal camera as well, and you vet that the roof is in fact safe. But when you do that, you can then use a spotlight on the drone. This just happens to be our D100. And now you can work safely. If there was any trip hazards, loose shingles, holes, anything along those lines, you can now see it. They have to actually cut holes into the roof. So you want your hands free. So it's an unexpected use for it, but when it's not doing this, it can actually go around the structure as well. You see how much dark there is. We make products for filling in the other gaps, but I wanted you guys to still be able to see that. So next, please. All right, so I told you about the drone specific aerial lighting that we have. I'll show you some of our ground tools. This is a actual firefighter out of Nebraska. She happens to have a helmet light of ours, a right angle light, and one of our Nomad scene lights. So next slide. Okay, this is horrible. I don't know where this is, but traffic accidents are absolutely insane. I've met with and talked to several of you guys about this over the years. They're dangerous. You have to open up the road. There's lots and lots of reasons to open up the road. And there are, before you even get into the concept of mapping or something like that, you are talking about potentially very, very dark, remote, rural areas, but you're talking about tons of debris, doing all the medical work, getting the road opened up, using all the tow truck folks, stabilizing this scene from the second it happens when it's exceptionally dark, all the way to when it ends and all the emergency vehicles leave. But unfortunately, worldwide, this is, these are just terrible. These are really, really big scenes in a lot of like poorly lit areas. So you do need portable scene lighting. So that's one. Next. Okay, this is an actual fatal accident. This is in the Midwest. And this is an example of where the drone does come into play for a mapping application. So this one's awful. These cars hit so hard that rather than a massive debris pattern, these ones just stopped. I mean, it's just nuts. But they would have closed this road another 10 hours. It happened at 7 p.m. They were prepared to just block this thing and maybe offer up a detour so that they could then go back the next morning and do reconstruction. That's all your mapping, your measuring and all that. But they went in with the drone. They used, in this case, I believe it was an Evo 2. I think in this one, they actually used Sky Browse, I think at that time. And they used some of the scene lights, but they were actually able to open up this road in about, I don't know, I think they got it all done in about 3.5, 4 hours, as opposed to the 12 hours they would have had that road closed waiting for daylight. So it's an awful example, but that is one. Disaster and military, you're seeing just some of the stuff, whether it's COVID and portable checkpoints or screening stations, but in the event of disasters or military operations, there's that. Special events, there's lots and lots of opportunities to use lighting if you're using anything for photography or the like. It's nice to have lights, plus people like to see stuff. So those are some of those applications. Next. Photo video is this last one. We did some shoots where they're in remote locations. They like to have that ability to have cars go, do tight turns, shoot in remote locations on dirt roads. So it's nice to be able to bring lights there without generators and, cause a whole bunch of commotion. So that's just another application. So I think that's it for me. I just wanted you guys to see some of the applications where the light can be used for not only the drone, but for more. And then if you guys are looking at public safety, there are opportunities where, you may be able to learn more. A lot of departments don't have drone pilots, so they sometimes do, they are open to people that are wanting to assist. So I can't speak for your community, but there may be opportunities if you want to learn more about that. Off to my mom.
All right, thanks, Antonio. So in order to, again, we're going back to the drone, and now we're going to cover some of the drone solutions that we have. Again, it's not just public safety, insurance, agents, documentation, arson investigation, forensic investigation, besides the fun stuff, the events, the photo. We have that ground to sky to ground illumination solution. So that's where it comes in handy. We have developed by being in this market for 7 years, we have grown with the industry. And what we do at FoxFury is we do a really good job in listening to what our customers need and listening to what the end users need solutions for. It's one thing to go and say, well, here's a drone, go. But what else do you need on the drone? What kind of camera do you need? Do you need thermal? Do you need white light? What is it that you need that is gonna bring the solution that you need for your company, be it a department or just a private company? So there's a lot of indoor flying. Many different markets, not just public safety, are doing indoor flying from an inspection point of view. And all of the small drones are amazing drones. And they also, but they need lighting. They don't fly indoors. The GPS don't work in indoors. So they need lighting so the camera can see, so the drone can see. So we have different applications. We have our small D10 that fits on your DJI Mini. We also use it on the Parrots. The rescue scene that Antonio shared earlier from Friendship Fire Department, they actually had 2 of these on an Evo. It was just a saddle with 2 of these, and that was enough to light up that area so that woman could be rescued. We also have, and probably you've seen this, our Exo-Lander Solutions that we have developed for many of the different platforms, allowing, it kind of puts the drone at a different category. A lot of the drones have very short legs. When you are landing on grassy areas, when you're landing in mud, it's really easy for that drone to sink. If you're landing in grassy area, then the grass is going to get in the propellers and you have to sit there. One of the pain points that I heard also, if you're flying indoors and inside an industrial building, when they land on the floor, those industrial buildings are filthy. Hair. I got a lot. I laughed at first, and then I thought, gee, well, that really makes sense. They were saying, oh my gosh, the hair and the propellers, you have to sit there with tweezers and just, clean those out. So the Exo-Lander raises the platforms from about 5 inches. And that is either on the Evo 2s, on the Mavics 2, the Mavic Enterprises. We're coming up with a solution for the Mavic 3. And we also have, of course, the spotlight on the Evo, like you saw earlier. We have the spotlight on the Unique, on the H520s, on the Phantom 4. So we have solutions for many of the different platforms. One of the pain points, talking to a department in Texas, they were saying, I'm in a distress situation. I need to send my drone indoors. But that means I'm already nervous. It's a SWAT operation. I have to fly the drone over my colleagues to go inside that building, because I need something that I can just put the drone on a platform, hand it to a window, go to a door, and just release the drone. That way I don't have to put anybody in danger. So we came up with our Exo Dock. And at first everybody was like, well, that's silly, but it's really not silly, because it's another tool. We just basically fill in the gap. So the Exo Dock fills in the gap to under public safety, if they need to basically launch that drone indoors, or if they want to use the drone to record, to document. The drones have an amazing camera. So even if in areas where you don't want to deploy the drone, then you could just have the drone locked on the handle and just walk around and videotape that scene. Or as you see on this photo right here, you could also mount it on top of our scene lights. So now if they are documenting a scene and they're working to a scene, they don't need to deploy the drone, but now they can use the drone as a tool, just as a camera, and record the scene. So it's up there, it doesn't bother anybody. It sits anywhere 8.5 feet on some of our lights up to 17 feet. So it just puts the drone, another application for the drones, not just flying. They have amazing cameras, all of them really do. We have developed the payload delivery systems for the Evo 2 for manual if they need to deliver a bottle of water or first aid kits, depending on what the situation is. Now, rescuers can get to that victim a lot quicker by the drones than just by foot. So it really is an amazing tools. And having all of the accessories on the drones puts the drone at a whole different level besides just being a camera to see. But it allows them to respond. We have custom systems for the parrots Anafi. If it's the Mavic on a single light, we have different types. For the Evo, we are working with other manufacturers, so stay tuned. We probably have a couple of other solutions for a couple of other drones manufacturers coming out in a couple of months. We're just finishing up all of our marketing collateral, but this is what we do basically to bring solutions to the field. And that's all I have. So I pause now to see if anybody has any questions for Antonio and I.
So there has been some conversations going back and forth. They absolutely love the fact that you have that Evo dock. It's an Exo dock. Sorry, I saw it on an Evo. Is that the drone that it is built for? Does it go on other drones, or is it specific to a Autel?
No, it's not. The Exo-Lander is universal. The Exo-Lander is not just built, and the Exo dock attaches to the Exo-Lander. So your DJI Mavics, your Evo 2s, anyone that has that Exo-Lander system, the Exo dock attaches to it. And many times, one application that I forgot to tell, a lot of these police departments or rescuers, they like to keep the drone already assembled, not in a case. If they have the drone in a case, when they get there, they have to take 10 minutes to put it all together. With the Exo dock, you remove the handle, and what it does is they put double-sided Velcro underneath the pad, and they put the Velcro on the carpet in the trunk of their car. So now they have the drones already assembled, ready to go. They get to a scene, they just undo the screws, and the drone is ready to go. So it's just one more solution. When seconds count, they don't have time to assemble that drone on site in many cases.
Awesome. What a fantastic idea. And yes, speed is of the essence. So that works well. So we do have some questions popping up in our chat. If you wanted to take a look at those. Kim asked if you're designing a light for BVLOS. And then we had a couple others popping in there.
Okay, if we're designing a light for which one?
For doing BVLOS operations.
Kim, could you expound on that by what you mean?
Well, I was just wondering if you were making them like a little bit brighter, or if they were specific to be able to see further at nighttime.
Got it. The scene lights
Your
that we
lights are already
offer.
like that. I know I flew at nighttime when I was in Vegas, and thank God for your lights, man. Woo! Right, Carolyn? Right, Patricia? So your lights that you have now are when people are flying beyond visual line of sight, when they're allowed to, they'll be able to, it's definitely something you recommend to be able to see the drone better.
Yeah. And I didn't mean to,
No,
it is
and
like
I'm
you
not
say
quite
something
clear
in a
too, so don't
webinar
worry
and
about
it's
it.
like, No, but the scene lighting is big for that, because take that example of that fire, right? If you send that drone potentially around the back, by what I understand by BVLOS, I'm already beyond visual line of sight. So that's where I believe that and if I'm wrong on that, please tell me, but I believe that's where like the nomads and some of the scene lighting would be available, where you can search in and around stuff. But and then obviously, like if you have spotlighting or more lighting on the drone itself, hopefully theoretically you'd be able to see some of the trip hazards and some of the guy wires and things like that. But that you are encouraged to know where your surroundings are. But public safety, they don't always know, right? They don't know if what's in the backyard or whatever it be.
Awesome. Donna also posted a question in there. She's interested in eliminating top 6 feet of the ocean water. If you wanted to check out the chat, she kind of elaborated on some of the things that she was hoping to get lit up. If you have any suggestions regarding that, doing it on the water.
What drones would they be using on? The lights that we use on the drones, they're limited on what the drone can carry. So we always that determines what light solution we make for that drone. So if it's a DJI Mini, there's no way it can lift up a spotlight. If even the Mavic sometimes. Go ahead.
It's referring to the Swell Pro, which is an underwater drone. So our origin is that we came out of making a light to surf at night. And so that meant dealing with like sediment and silt and all that. And I think the challenge with underwater, anything underwater, and Desi can attest to this far better than I, depending on the water conditions, et cetera, it's stuff like the actual beam angle of the light itself that will dictate whether you can see or if you, like your fog lights, if it punches through or if it just blinds you. So that's a great application, Donna. I'd love to learn more about that. But if the water is really murky, then you have to, it is hard, but I do with a lot of like dive teams for forensic, where that's what they work in. And that's where stuff like LiDAR and, all that comes in handy. There's so much we don't know. So I don't mean to be an authority on any of this stuff at all.
Awesome. All right. And I think also Maria kind of addressed the one, because there was one about using the lights on a Nano. And so how much do the lights weigh? And I know you have a variety of lights,
Right.
but as far as something that would be smaller for the smaller type of drones, what kind of weight are you looking at?
Some of them are like, basically 20 grams, 30 grams. They're very light. We are working on a solution for the Nano. So stay tuned. That's one of those that we are working on with the D10. Some of the smaller drones can't carry too much weight. So we have to limit, otherwise it cuts up a lot of battery life. So we always try to keep it to a minimum, because nobody wants to start changing batteries every 10 minutes. So most of our lights lower the battery life for about 5 minutes, depending on the size of the drone. Did that answer your question?
Yes, perfectly.
Oh, what was the battery life of a drone? I mean, a battery life of the light when it's on top of the drone?
What customers like to keep, they're okay if it reduces the battery life for about 5-7 minutes because of the weight. The extra weight, the motor has to work it a little harder, so it consumes battery a little bit faster than if you don't add weight to it. So anytime you're going to add weight to a drone, being light or whatever it is, it's going to cost you from a battery life point of view.
Right.
Does that answer your question?
Yep.
About how long?
I like that you can carry things around with. I like that too. That's
the Exo-Dome. Somebody asked
EVOs.
Sorry?
Is it just for the EVOs?
The Exo-Dock is for the Exo-Lander systems. Whatever drone, so it will be for your EVOs, it will go for your DJI Mavics as well.
Okay.
It'll be the Evo 2 and the Mavic 2 as of right now. We're still working on more, but
Yeah.
you know, those drone manufacturers, sometimes it's tricky to know.
But those are two key ones right there.
Absolutely.
Yep. Is the Exo dock grip suitable for both left, right hands? Also, are they attachable to surfaces such as a tray, table, or wheelchair?
For left and right hand, yes. If you remove the handle again with a double Velcro, double-sided Velcro, you could interlocking Velcro. You could attach the pad just like you attach it to the back of a car. I don't know. It just depends on the surface and what you use to attach it. Never tried it.
I believe the
definitely a
grip has a 1/4 20 mount though. Is that correct?
The grip does, yes.
So if it's on the grip, if the wheelchair could, or if that table on the wheelchair had access to that, then yes.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So just to kind of wrap it up with one last question. So if someone was flying the smaller drones or possibly the Autel Evo 2, and they wanted to do night operations, what light do you recommend?
Antonio, you want to take that? Or you want me to do it?
I want to answer your question so bad, Desi, but it really just depends on
Oh,
on
you're
what they
gonna say
want to do.
depends. Okay.
I know it's the most cop-out answer, but I mean, if they just want to fly at night, then you know the anti-collision light, that's simple. You know, any of those we find the D10, the D3060. It's if you're trying to get into more of the specialty applications, you know, that's where I think it'll really change. I don't mean to give a cop-out answer, but you would not. I mean, you would, Desi, but like the feedback and the applications and the use cases we hear, I never know if people are serious or not. In some cases, I mean, it is just it's just absolutely bizarre. So some people are way ahead of the curve and they're very early adopters, and some people, I don't know, maybe we should call the feds. I'm not really sure. So
All right. What if they're flying a larger platform? Let's say they're flying like the Inspire 2 or something up and beyond that. What solutions do you have for those?
We do have solutions for the Inspires, for the Matrice, for the Phantom 4s, we do have those solutions as well. I didn't cover them here, but we have those on our website. Otherwise, just please email me what your drone platform you have, and I can give you some recommendations on different solutions. Like Antonio mentioned earlier, on the Evo, we have the D3060s, but we also have the Spotlights, and we have some of our Rugos. So it truly depends what application you're flying drones at night for, and then we can recommend the proper lighting. There's several.
So what that all says is a well-rounded solution is what you provide, right? There we go. We do have another question that just popped up, and then we're going to go to our breakout sessions. And so Jim would like to know, does FoxFury have strobes?
Yes, we do. Our lights, one of the modes on all of our lights is a strobe. Otherwise, to meet the FAA regulations, you have to. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to fly at night unless you meet the FAA requirements.
Perfect.
yeah,
Perfect.
options there.
So what I would like is for you to maybe put your contact information in there, because you do have so many different lighting solutions for a variety of drones. And that's why it was so key having you here and sharing all that knowledge and how the lights are being used. And so if you could put your information in there so people could reach out, because I'm sure they'll have more questions coming up. And so we thank you so much for sharing with us. And we are going to go to the breakout sessions. And I kind of like to continue on with the safety aspects using lights, or if you could just kind of talk a little bit more into the sessions. What tips and tricks is everybody using for safety in flight? And so I did make sure that both of you, Maria and Antonio, are going to be in a separate room. That way, if anybody does want to talk a little more about it as well. All righty. Thank you. All right. We're going to open up the breakout sessions. That kind of wraps it up.